table that one.
Okay.
Then the other thing I would suggest, so this is obviously gets posted Tuesday night. When is this usually done? I mean, when do you usually have
I
that
sent what I knew had to be on it out to them, it was last week. It was
Okay.
Wednesday or Friday of last week.
I can get
Whenever,
this Friday.
And then,
whenever you do that, could you send it to me? Because that way then I can help with any type of language. I know that's, like I said, what my dad does over there.
It was kind of
To make sure we're following the Open Meeting Act and make sure we've got the right language. We're enough
that way I
detail
told them
in
if there was
it.
anything that could be added, they could respond back to me and
By-
let me know by Tuesday so that
Right.
I could get it added and then put it back on there.
Well, and it was kind of a little weird this time because she was gone.
Yeah, it was,
Yeah.
I had a wedding this
Yeah.
weekend.
And then Monday was a holiday.
Right,
And
of
it was
course.
kind of like, oh God.
But
And
no, I
this
usually-
is a big agenda.
I
so.
usually try to have, like, what I know, like the REAP grant and like that, the timely
Yeah,
stuff that has to be
That-
done.
No doubt it's
That
gonna be
it's
on
gonna be,
there.
and I kind of send it out so they can kind of look, and if they have anything extra, they can send it to me over the weekend. I try to then have it back out by Monday.
Yeah.
But I'm
If,
looking
yeah,
forward
if
that
you'll
way.
send that to me, that way, and because the other thing, like on like the executive session, I'm sure the statute's correct,
Yes.
but I mean, obviously we have to make sure it is, and that would be something, if I have it enough time in advance, I can just double
Right, yeah.
check on that.
Yeah.
Okay, can we do the Pledge of Allegiance and the
We do.
Lord's
So if we're right
Prayer?
here.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And if everybody can join in, if you know it. Okay. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom and the power and the glory forever. Amen. Okay, I call to order. Oh gosh, 6:02. And now, roll call. Do I make a motion on roll call?
Do we have to do
No.
the trust meeting as well?
Hmm?
The trust meeting, do we do that after or before?
After.
Okay, I wasn't sure which way you guys did.
Yeah. No, you can just say do roll call and then I'll say, and then I'll tell you that a motion needs to be made for everyone, everyone's on.
Okay. Okay, so roll call.
Cameron,
Here.
Michelle,
Here.
Matt. Guys. Then we need to do a motion for a quorum.
I make a motion that quorum is met.
A second.
Your vote, Cameron,
Yes.
Michelle,
Yes.
quorum stated.
I'm sorry. I don't know what meeting agenda I have, but it's not the right one. I'm sorry. I'm just looking at this.
You're like, that's completely
What
different than
is
what you had
wrong
over
with
there.
me? Oh, goodness. Sorry, guys.
What is 522 money?
I don't know. I have no idea. Thank you. Okay, I don't believe we have any unscheduled guests. So, okay. Number 4, discussion action on past meeting minutes from September 8th, 2021.
And I have a couple of questions, because of course I wasn't here.
Right, go ahead.
What are the 522 money? What is that?
That is what they voted on, it's the ambulance emergency fund money, that was, what was that election? It was
Oh,
the school board election,
yes.
wasn't it February?
Okay, so
Yes.
that's
Yes.
just the number for their funds?
Yes,
Okay.
that's their funds.
Okay. Okay, and then my second thing was on that same D, fire ambulance departments, it says, please see attached report from Pebbles, but there was no attached report.
Sorry. She was supposed to have left us a copy of the letter that she wrote.
Was it a letter or a report?
It was a letter to the board of things that had happened. I don't have it in my notes, but I'll get that sent out.
Well, I'm making a motion to not approve the minutes until I see the letter.
And I will second that since I don't have that and don't know what it is.
Sorry about that, I thought it was in the book.
Okay, number 5, oh, I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
she's got it.
Okay, so we can
Oh,
make
yeah.
a motion. Vote Kenna?
Yes.
Michelle?
Yes.
Discussion action to approve resolution for changing,
No, you missed one.
oh, I'm sorry. Discussion action on purchase orders for the general ambulance and fire funds.
And I have questions on that.
Okay,
Just
go
because
ahead.
this is different than what I'm used to seeing.
Yes.
So I get that this is a general PO. These are all Octobers?
Yes, it's right.
Okay. So,
Those are not blankets. Does that
okay.
help you?
Are these blankets?
Those are blankets.
Okay.
They were-
So where do these totals down here come from? Because when you total these up, they don't equal to that. So I'm not sure where these totals are coming from.
These are POs per the month,
Mhm.
these individuals.
Okay, so this should equal,
Right.
these two should equal this?
Yes.
Okay, so that one's off. I don't know whether that's supposed to be 88 or whether this is supposed to be 33.
Okay.
So that's one. It's not a big difference, but
It makes sense.
I was just trying to make heads or heels of beans out of all this, and I'm like, I don't know where all these numbers are coming from.
What's the general?
Yeah, it's Western Equipment for 2833, and I don't know if it's supposed to be 88 or 33.
2833.
Okay, so that's right, so this down here would need to be changed to 113.
Okay, yeah, that's my blanket. That's more for, you can see month to month if there's any, like, if there's big purchases or anything.
Okay.
Because this is what you are approving, because those have
This
already
is
been
what we're
approved.
approving.
Yes.
Okay, so these are good.
Yes,
Okay.
that's just my running
So-
total that I will.
My next
Okay.
question is, where do these totals down here at the bottom come from? You're gonna hate me after today.
Nope, that's okay. You can ask anytime. Okay, what are the?
So the month totals, should that be all of this totaled? Or where do these totals come from? I can turn around here. These totals right here on each one of these, where does that come from?
Yes, it should be those, it's not gonna be the ambulance. This is just general fund.
Okay, so how do we know, so everything but the ambulance? Or if the fire's on it?
Right, now, yeah, no, these are, like I say, these are all blankets. And this is the general, what we're spending in the general for the month,
Which is this.
which is this PO.
No. That's what this total is on
Right.
this. That's why, these totals are not exact, is what you're telling me?
Right.
God, I hate that.
Yeah, I mean, because this has multiple funds,
Right?
this does not. this is for the general fund, this is fire only, that is ambulance only, and that is a separate meeting.
So do we ever have anything that truly shows us where we are financially? I mean, because of POs that are spent and POs that are not spent. Does that make sense?
Yes,
Okay.
it's like this is, there's more over here that has the blanket and the
Okay.
appropriations and a lot more.
So should all of these equal this? Because these totals across come out right, but
Right.
this doesn't.
Right. If you click on that, the formula will not have the ambulance. or
Okay,
anything
so
like
it
that.
comes out, okay,
Yes.
okay.
Oh, okay, so the ambulance
So,
totals aren't. in
Ambulance
that.
or
Right.
fire or
This
those
is
types
gonna
of things
be-
would come out of that.
Yes, yeah, that is not gonna figure in, because this is because your temporary appropriations are for your general fund
Okay,
and all of that, and that's kind of where I've kind of gone, because we're on a cash basis,
right.
and so,
These are just very confusing the way they're done. And that's not against you, that's probably how they've been done, I don't know. But it was just hard for me to try to figure out not knowing.
right.
So, okay. Thank you, that's all.
Don't apologize.
Well, I mean, for like holding everything up, because I just don't know.
Okay.
That's how I learn. Okay. You answered my questions, I'm
Okay.
good.
Okay, I make a motion to approve the purchase orders for the general ambulance and fire funds.
And I second that.
Cameron, your vote?
Yes.
Michelle?
Yes.
Okay, discussion action to approve resolution for changing CIP priority level of gas line replacement from essential to mandatory. We talked about that at the last meeting.
Right, when Jennifer was here. to,
Yeah.
And our gas line was in our CIP, which was done back in 2011. So it would probably be a really good idea to, within the next year or so, to do a new CIP plan to get all updated maps, especially when we get the 5 miles done and hopefully
Okay,
get that done
explain
this
to
year.
me, what is the CIP plan?
Capital improvements.
Okay, gotcha.
And it was at an essential state on our deal, but now updated CIPs have a mandatory category. So if we
It
do a
was-
resolution to amend our CIP elevation priority from essential to mandatory, it gives us 2 more points, and we're all about points.
Yeah, that point sheet.
So,
I remember
yeah.
us talking about that last
Yeah,
time.
so it's all about the points. So basically, this is a resolution, whereas in the best interest of the residents of the town of Freedom to expedite the following changes to the CIP for applications for financial assistance from various funding agencies' programs in the form of grants. Page 1 of 1, under the Utilities Capital Needs Summary, change the statement to read, line 1, gas system repairs, replace 5 miles of steel with poly pipe, survey priority mandatory, and LPAC priority mandatory, which is the commission, it's in the CIP, like it's the priority level of the town and the priority level of the person doing this, that did the surveys and the maps and stuff. So now therefore be resolved that the mayor of the town of Freedom is hereby authorized and directed to submit the changes to Oklahoma Economic Development Authority, OEDA, on behalf of the town of Freedom, passed today. Like I say, this section right, this resolution right here will grant us 2 more points to go along with
Which we need.
the application, which is in the next agenda item for the gas line.
I make a motion to approve the resolution.
And this came, and this template and everything just came straight from Jennifer, who writes the grants. So I didn't, all I had to change was my page number.
And when you make that motion, if you could go ahead and read out.
Yes,
Yeah.
to approve the resolution for changing CIP priority level of gas line replacement from essential to mandatory.
My second that.
Cameron, your vote?
Yes.
Michelle?
Yes.
Okay, number 7, discussion action to approve REAP application and resolution for 2020-2022 to replace gas line main north of Freedom.
And here is the completed application.
Oh,
We are, because the sooner we get it in and I can get it uploaded, the better. It's off our plate. We are requesting the $65,000, which is the maximum that we can request
Okay.
through OEDA. We are going for infrastructure, the infrastructure category, the project name, replacement of main gas line north of Freedom. Our applicant information is the town, the address, the chief elected official is Kama, clerk is myself, population is 300, which was right about, I think the 2020 census put us like right under 300, so.
Oh, I thought it was right under 200.
You know, I looked, I verified last night, it was like 280 something, that's what
It's
the
still that
2020.
Gosh.
I don't know what they
I
counted.
know when I
I'm like, it was on the
I know
internet.
when I moved here, it was right in that area,
Mhm.
and when the Millers moved, it put us at 300 or right around there.
Right.
But I figured with everybody that's passed away and people that have moved and stuff, that we'd be lower than that,
So,
so
I don't know.
I guess we've had more
There's-
people move in than I realized.
Yeah, I was saying,
We
there
have,
might
yeah.
be more little ones that, you know, like
Yes.
aren't in school,
Yes.
that, you know, we don't
Yeah.
really
Yeah.
see out and about as much and stuff, so.
Awesome.
And
Yeah, that's
then
probably surprising.
our House District, Senate District, name of legal counsel, we have Drew on there. And then the project priority and justification, this is the Warm Fuzzies, which is the project that the Town of Freedom has chosen to, for this year's REAP grant, is the continuation of the replacing steel lines north of Freedom. We have managed to complete part of the 5 miles north of Freedom. This has allowed the Town of Freedom to stay compliant with the agreement we have with the Oklahoma Corporation Commission. Replacing the old steel lines will resolve any unknown leaks that may have happened over the past several decades. The safety of the residents in Freedom and along the lines north of Freedom is always a concern of the board members. The replacement of the steel lines will also allow the Town of Freedom to maintain the low cost of gas to its residents. Upgrading and maintaining more efficient infrastructure and low utility prices are always at the top of the priority list for the Town of Freedom. That's your warm fuzzies. We are not under any consent orders because we do have an agreement with the OCC that we are working on replacing those through grants and stuff. And they come out and monitor and check. They do a yearly audit on all the gas lines and they see what we've been able to do and everything. Strategic planning, we do have the CIP where we just amended it to say that our project is listed as mandatory. It asks if our project could be completed over several years. We're continuing, so it is kind of in the process of being completed over several years. And hopefully this will be the last year if the CDBG and the REAP together, we can finish that. It's like, are you willing to do it in stages if not fully funded? We'll have to. I mean, that's just, so yes, we're always willing to work with whatever. Can you complete the project? If full funding is not available, we can, just in stages. And then will you be applying for further funding? Yes, CDBG. So that is on there. And then here is the dollar breakdown. And that is that we are requesting the 65. We, for local contribution, the Town of Freedom is going to be putting in $7,150 of our own monies for it, which leaves the estimated cost of the entire project is $153,050. So we will be asking CDBG for an $80,900 grant to go along with it to complete it.
This is the REAP.
Yes,
What
this
is-
is REAP.
This
This
is
is,
the CDBG.
it's the Community Development Block Grant.
Okay, I've heard of that.
Yeah, that's
all the
I
acronyms.
know, all the acronyms are just
We've
like,
applied for that too, right?
that's what, we have not yet, it hasn't opened yet, but this opens now, and we have to have this submitted by October 29th at 4 p.m. in the town of Hooker.
Do you have to drive it?
We can upload it this year.
Okay.
Bonus.
Yeah.
So that's why I want to make sure we get it done at this meeting and that we can then get everything uploaded. Jennifer can go out and double check, make sure it's out there in the portal, the portal world that we live in these days.
Okay.
And that, yes,
Does Jennifer, is she the REAP?
she's both.
Okay, so
She
she
works
helps us with
for OEDA and NODA. OEDA is the Oklahoma Economic Development, which is like this region, and she also works for NODA, which is like the Enid and down south and east region as well. But she is the grant guru of both of those. And when we do this, like the last CDBG that we just got done doing, she did it all. We don't have to do any of the paperwork. We have meetings to discuss the finances, where it's at, if we need to change something of the scope of the project.
Okay, that's what I was gonna wonder, if
Yeah.
we send that in, if there's something they don't like, do they give us a chance to fix it, or does it just either get in and get denied, or it's good?
Right, no, it's an in or out.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
and that's why it's like, and there's a committee for this as well. There's a REAP committee for it. So, and it's of different administrators of different towns and some past OEDA or NODA board members and stuff as well. So, they meet out in, it used to be meet in Beaver, but now it's around Hooker. So, but yes, so like I said, the CDBG, she will, and we'll actually send this to her tomorrow and make sure she has her eyes on it and likes what we can do. And then, like I say, then we'll upload it.
Okay, so she'll get an eye on it before we...
Yes, she'll get an eye on it
Okay.
before, yes. And she will help do anything we ever needed to do, you know, like she'll check the warm and fuzzy stuff. And she's like, if she has an idea, hey, this might work,
Okay.
she can let me know, we can go in and add
And
it or
some of
whatever.
those, they want things a specific way,
Yes,
that's why I
no.
wondered, so.
This application has not changed in 12 years.
Okay.
It is now
That's
on the
really
internet
nice.
and fillable. I used to have to print it out and get a typewriter and type it.
I'm glad you don't have to do that, because
Me
that's not
too,
the
'cause
finding a typewriter
finding a
anymore.
typewriter anymore is
I don't
a chore in
think you
itself.
can find a typewriter now.
Yes, so,
Okay.
but yes, this is the application, the resolution that goes along with this, that comes as the whole download from OEDA, is just stating that the town board knows that we are applying for the replacement of gas lines, and that we all agree that we are gonna put in the 7150, and it's instructing Kama to sign this and the application, is what this resolution does.
Okay.
So,
I make a motion that we approve the application and resolution for 2022 to replace gas line main north of Freedom.
I second.
she remembers. Vote Michelle?
Yes.
Emma?
Yes. Number 8, discussion action to approve the 2021-22 estimate of needs.
And this is the budget. Bill Gower got it all together and ready. I have not heard from Shelley Reed, no relation. When the excise board is gonna be having their meeting to approve and then send on down to the state.
Is this,
We had to have ours done by the end of September, so I was like, it was really late for me. I didn't know.
Cause she always calls and tells me, this is when I'm meeting. I'm
Yeah.
like, okay. And so I always try to have it done before she tells me, but she doesn't
Probably need
call
to
me
get
and
in
tell me.
touch with her.
So I will actually, once this is signed, I will take it to
Okay.
her tomorrow,
Okay.
and this will go to the paper tomorrow.
Okay.
So, like I said, this is the part for the paper. It's more the nuts and bolts than the forever pages of zeros and stuff that we don't worry about. So,
guess it shows. Well, it doesn't really. So what are our sources of revenue? Because it says local
Sales tax.
sources, just sales tax, and then do we
And
have
the sales tax, the cigarette tax, alcohol, motor vehicle tax,
Mhm.
those are the general fund's main sources of income, yes.
Okay. The little campgrounds over here, is that the city's too?
No,
Okay.
and that's not taxable, it's a service, it's
Okay.
not. It
Okay,
can't have
I
sales
wasn't
tax
sure
on
what
it.
that
Yeah,
was.
yeah, it's kind of like a rental of a storage space inside,
Right.
you know.
Okay. You ready to turn? Yeah, go ahead.
And like I said, if we don't have a central
Oh,
general
right.
industrial fund, like I said, the nuts and bolts is right here on your,
There we go. Personal services. They
and
just,
since this is like I said, this is the estimate, and that's why I kind of keep.
and they base
track.
that on past
Past
year, right?
years, yes.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Yes.
I want to make sure I was right.
Yep, that's past
Okay.
years, and we don't come close to these numbers, because we don't have a lot of like major expenses unless something major drastic comes, because we are looking for grants and.
That at least it's planned for, yeah.
Yes, so, right. So,
Okay, I'll make a motion to approve the 2021-22 estimate of needs.
I'll second that motion.
and then your vote,
Yes.
Michelle?
Yes.
Number 9, discussion, possible action to accept signature stamp for Pamela Luddington for official signature. So, it takes me a long time to sign my name when I'm doing this
Are you
checks.
serious?
It does, because I don't scribble. And so I ordered a signature stamp, but I understood that then I needed to register it with this Secretary of State. So I thought, well, I probably should get it accepted here.
Yeah, I know, like at the school, it's a resolution.
The board has to approve it through a resolution.
Yeah, so.
But they can't use it without permission each time. I mean,
Right.
they can't just use it at.
Right, they can't, like,
Like
just a
information.
red letter and stamp it and
Yes.
go on, it's
Mhm.
to be used
Yeah.
here.
That's
So-
Yeah.
I was like, I just thought,
I didn't
well, I
realize
could
the
just
state
do
did anything
this.
to do
I
with.
didn't realize
But-
that part either. Do
Which
you
one
have
was
any idea?
it?
It has to be registered with the Secretary of State, the
That-
signature?
Without looking into it, I don't know, I'd have to.
Yeah, I just knew that, like, everyone had to agree that, yes,
Yes.
you could have,
Yeah.
you know.
Well, that's what I wanted. I wanted everyone to agree.
Is it just for you to use it,
Yeah.
not anybody else?
No, just me.
I don't know, she takes
In
it,
my
I would
position-
guess she would take it home.
And I
with her,
didn't even
guess.
bring it tonight because I don't want to make sure it's legal. So
I don't
it'll
know
take
why
a
it
little.
wouldn't be, but
Well, I just understood that if
What I
you're,
remember from the school is that,
I
it
just
was
understood
like
that if
stated
you're
that
in a
they're
public,
not written,
office,
that's exactly what happens.
Yeah.
that it had to be registered with the Secretary of State. If I wasn't in a public office,
And that may be the
I
difference.
wouldn't have to
public
do
office,
anything
yeah.
about
I mean,
it.
I would guess something like that without, like I said, without having done any research on that specifically.
So-
I didn't even thought of that aspect, so.
Cause like I've never had that.
So
question from that.
I printed out the form and
Okay.
filled it out and sent it to the Secretary of State, but I wanted it approved here first.
On that form, is there anything that says like the minutes of the meeting or the meeting date or anything?
No, it just asked the entity, and for,
Like
the
the
signature
stamp.
stamp,
So-
my position, and it was with the Town of Freedom.
So that
Does that
probably
have
needs
to
to
be
be
notarized?
approved before we would approve it, right?
I don't know.
That I don't know.
Yeah, that, I mean, I'd have to do research on that to see.
I don't know.
I mean, if you have to be approved through the State Department, I would think that they would have to approve it before we
It's
can
not
approve
that
it.
they approve it, it's just a register.
It's just on
with it.
file.
Oh,
And
okay.
I had to have it notarized, the form I filled out.
That's why I was, didn't
But
know.
you haven't gotten anything back on that yet?
No,
Okay.
not yet. And I don't even know if I will.
I would think they
I
would
would-
let you, like,
They should, yeah, I would think.
send you some, like a receipt, like,
A receipt
there's
or
a
something.
notification of you're registered.
Right.
I mean, yeah,
I would
say
think
I
they would.
wouldn't have.
Well, if it was just me and I wasn't in a public office, I don't think you have to do that. But since I was here,
Since you're using it
I
for
thought
this
I better
purpose.
do
Yeah.
it. So anyway, so
I recommend that we accept the signature stamp of Campbell Luddington for official signature.
I second.
Well, why not? Do you want to use that? It's easier for you. You're getting old.
I know, I'm getting arthritis.
I figured I could say that since you're only a year older than me.
Michelle, your vote?
Yes.
Cannot.
Yes. Okay, number 10, discussion action to have fire inspections on town properties, AF and AM building, fire ambulance building, and town office. This is for, I'm not so sure if anything's ever been inspected.
Well, I mean,
And since we,
I know the fire extinguishers are all checked and
I
dealt
say they
with.
have to be.
They
checked.
have to be checked, but I don't know if they do any other checks themselves on property, or if it's just the extinguishers.
I don't know, and I don't know the legal liabilities of all that. If
I
it's
don't-
something we should be doing yearly, or
I
if it's
don't
just the
know.
fire
Right,
extinguisher
and that
aspect.
might be where we could ask OMAG, our insurance company, because we've never gotten any notification from them asking for like inspection results. or
yeah, I
anything
just
like
got to
that,
thinking
so.
about, well, if we lease out the AFAM building,
Yeah.
I'm like,
I
what?
guess he never said.
Do we need to be?
Nothing's happened with that yet, as far as I know.
That's why.
Yeah, and then I was like, well, maybe we should lead by example for the town.
Mhm.
Because I'm just not sure,
So who would perform this?
I don't know.
I don't know if we call the state fire marshal and get on a list.
Or like I say, maybe we just double check with our
I know the
insurance
fire
company.
marshal has to come to the school, which the school's different because we also have a cafeteria and we
Right.
feed
Yeah.
kids and we have
Right.
a fax room
Yeah,
that has
you're
to be
a
inspected,
diff-
so
yeah,
it's
so
a
you're a
different type
different-
of organization or
Right,
business.
yeah.
And I know,
Yeah.
grocery stores have to have the health inspection, I know restaurants do, but I don't know enough
About an office building.
office building, yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I didn't either,
So-
but it worried
We
me
can
about
ask
the
the-
AFAM.
I think that's a good idea, talk
Asking
to
the
OMAG.
OMAG, asking the insurance company
Well,
what their
let's do that.
requirements are, and then we can
Okay,
pursue
so
from
do
there.
one of us need to do that, or,
I can have Dawn.
okay, that's why I wasn't sure
Yeah,
who.
no, I can have Dawn.
If we could get
give them a
something,
holler.
if they would send us something so we have it in writing so we know.
Right, and a lot of their stuff, now you can go online,
Oh, okay.
and it's kind of like OML, you can send them inquiries, and they send stuff
Oh,
back, or
okay.
they call you or email you.
Okay.
They're really good.
That's
Yeah.
Well, I just thought, I'm just not sure about, all these old buildings.
Right, well, and
And,
they're all tied together.
and I just
You
didn't
know,
know,
it's just
if the town, did this, we're just sort of saying, okay, everybody needs to do this.
Right.
It's just like in Alva,
Because I
many
just,
years ago, there were fires in a couple of different places that took out sometimes two businesses, sometimes just one, but,
Right.
if it's something we can prevent, then.
so do we want to table this till we find out about OMAG?
Let's see, what is it? Just, discussion,
Because we're not actually doing it, we're
Sounds
gathering
like
more
you're-
information. Or just
essentially taking no action, so I think you probably do a motion to take no
I
action.
think so too.
I mean,
Okay,
I know you guys are doing something.
But
instead of
not that.
but
It's
you're
not this,
doing-
right,
Yeah.
yeah.
okay.
That's just our discussion.
Yeah.
So I make a motion to take no action, to have fire inspections on town properties.
And I second that motion.
And that's just until we find out.
Right, and I can have.
You can always add these back.
Yes,
at a later
anything you
Yeah.
take no action on, you can revisit, you can add them back as many times as you want to. And like I say, if we don't find anything out for like next month and do it in December, because like a table has to be on the agenda every month until you take no action or an action.
I see,
Yeah.
okay.
So, okay, Kevin,
So
your
is
vote.
that okay? Yes.
So if we need to completely reword, I'm kind of going out of order, sorry.
It's okay.
If we completely need to reword number 11, do we want to table that, or do we want to?
I think you'd have to, because you don't have an option on there to take any action on it.
Okay.
And just put it on the next one and we'll get the right.
Okay.
wording.
Your vote on item 10.
Yes.
Okay.
Sorry.
It's okay. I just didn't wanna, I'll get that on record.
Okay, number 11, what did I say?
I do just announce that after speaking with town's legal counsel, we decided to table that.
Okay,
And I mean, I think officially you could file or do a motion to table, or if everybody's in agreement, I think you can table it. So
so I make a motion.
I would go ahead and do that just to get it done officially. So
Okay, I make a motion to table the executive session per council's
Recommendation.
recommendation.
And I second that.
Your vote, Karen.
Yes.
Michelle.
Yes.
Okay, number 12, discussion and vote to approve an engagement letter with Rosenstein Fist and Green Gold to provide legal services to the town of Freedom and execution of the same. This is in conjunction with you, Drew, to put more tools in our toolbox if anything comes down the road, and to work with all of us.
Because I know, who's his name is Brian Drummond. He is at all of our trainings, and he is really, really
He's very
good.
good.
Well, I
He's the
just
school
thought of
legal
some,
counsel.
we got, you know, some things coming down the pike that I printed this off from their, for their municipal law of what all they help with. There you go. I didn't know what we're gonna be running into on this gas line deal with, property owners.
Because I know if, for the CDBG part, we are still within our time frame to go into the ODOT easement and
How
go
much?
around.
Do you know how much that gives us?
I'm not sure.
You're not
Shad did all of that configuring and talking with Jennifer and stuff, and Jennifer may know a lot more on all of that. Because we don't have and weren't expecting to have to pay damages to some property owners and the amounts that they were requesting. So we had asked ODOT when we first started it, about going into their easement, and that was granted to us, and it's still within the time frame to go ahead and do all that. That's why if we do this and the CDBG, our low income survey is still in, I mean, a lot of the extras are still in play.
That's good.
So we don't have to turn around and do that again, so.
And I talked with the lawyers there, and they highly recommended if if we do this engagement letter with them, that, you know, we want to just, if they're ever needed,
Mhm.
and which I hope that they
That's
never
not
are. But I know, and they said, look, that a lot of places do this. They have their city attorney, and then they have a firm. And so,
That's what Alva does. I mean, with my father, he's kind of their general, and then if they
uh-huh.
have any kind of bigger issues, if they need
Do you
to.
wanna look that over real quick? So anyway.
Do you intend to look at that before I make a motion, because I think it's a good idea?
Yes,
And I know we do.
yes.
Okay, I make a motion that we approve an engagement letter with Rosenstein, Fisk, and Ringgold to provide legal services to the town of Freedom and execution of second.
I second.
Michelle, your vote.
Yes.
Emma?
Yes. Okay, number 13, department reports. Maintenance. I wish I would have said something.
Do they not,
Stuart here.
do they not, is this always on here?
Yes.
It's not anything new?
No.
So do they know to give reports every month?
If they have something, yes.
Okay, okay.
What if we have something?
Like what?
Well,
Oh, like things we need them to do or
Yeah.
whatever?
Okay.
things
I don't think that has to
that
go through the board. I think we
Oh,
can just.
Yeah, you just talk to them directly. If you have
Oh,
projects or different, if you
Where
want
we
to
don't
ask
have
them-
a city manager,
Right.
because of the way we run, I think all of us actually can just go and talk to them.
Yes.
And say, hey, we
okay.
need this done.
Yes.
That's my understanding.
Yes,
Okay.
yes,
Okay.
yes, yeah.
okay, sorry.
Yeah, no, and that board used to be full of different projects and ideas and stuff when people would come in and, you
They
know,
write
different
down.
board members. And
Oh,
stuff
this
like
So we
that.
can write it up there and
I
then
can
they
write
can.
this up there?
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
He'll do that before.
I'll
we
do
do
that after the meeting. Okay. So,
And I do know that, when the OCC was here, we had the probable violation for the DIMP
yes,
deal. And that has
yes.
been taken care of. Stuart has that completed and
Okay,
is in contact with them on how to submit the report to them. He was under the impression it was an every 5-year thing and has been upgraded to an every year report. So
that's what that letter was about.
Is it DEMP or
DIMP,
DIMP?
DIMP. It's dimp and shrimp and it has to do with the gas lines.
Okay.
That's all I know.
And so he has to do, now he has to do a yearly.
It's part, yes,
report.
and PRC, our pipeline regulatory consultants who come and do all of our inspections and different things for in town and along the way. They help him with this report. It's part of their services to
Okay.
help him with this
Awesome.
report,
Okay.
yes. Because we
Because
have,
that
as
letter-
a, you're good. Pipeline regulatory consultants, PRC is, you know, the acronyms. We, they come in, they do visual inspections and stuff, and we pay them quarterly to come in and do some different things like that, so that's what you'll see.
So that's what that's all about, and he's working with them on that.
Yes, and it's been completed, PRC came out and he spent a day with him and got it completed. And it's on his computer, so now he's just getting with the OCC to see how we need to
Have to
let
get
them
it to
know
them.
that it's been done. Because if we print it, it's over 100 pages, so we just wanna know if we can just upload it to them or how they actually need it, right? Save some trees.
Okay.
So I do know that on the maintenance side.
Okay, and, office manager didn't leave a
She didn't
report?
have anything, I talked to her last night, so.
And town clerk treasurer?
I was just got notification, I don't know if it was last week or the week before, but I believe it's the portal for the applications for that Recoveries Act money.
Mm-hmm.
that's coming in, that has now opened. Part of it. Because, we don't want to do it all at once. So, and we had talked in the past about using, it's just over $47,000 is what the town of Freedom is going to be receiving from Recovery Act. And we had talked, and Matt and Stuart, I know have talked extensively about using that on sewer lines, because our sewer lines would probably be, after this gas line deal, the next major infrastructure upgrade that needs to be done.
There's not specific things that money has to be sent to.
There
us
is,
on?
and sewer lines,
It's one of
water
those,
lines, yeah,
yeah.
it's all, yes, in there. So I went in, because part of that has been open for a while, like, so that you could get ideas of what you want to start spending your money on and getting it together. So now that it's now there and open, we could probably, we'll just have to get some like engineering, I'm guessing, and figure out
I
what,
was
how and what we need to do.
wondering about that the other day. Do we do this in increments, like sewer lines, water lines? I mean, like, when was water lines done?
They were done kind of like in different sections of town, kind of like when we started the gas line replacement. We started in town first because we wanted our residents here first done. And I know, like, right after we moved back here, they replaced all the water and sewer lines up in my neighborhood.
How long
And so-
ago was that?
Probably like 10 years ago. So, and it was all updated to the new, at that point, the new approved lines and different things and stuff.
For that reason, that's not bad for water.
So,
So has
and
that been completed all over town?
I don't know. And one thing with the CIP, if and when we can do that, that will tell us, because they will get all of the information from our maintenance guy, all his reports, everything,
Okay.
and tell us when and what size. I mean, that's kind of like what some of these are, and they're like color coded to what they are, but obviously we've
So
made some changes.
That's
and
kind of how the
things.
sewer lines are gonna have to work too, just sort of incrementally.
Right, and I think Matt and Stuart have really talked about like where
Where
the
to start.
main areas of like
Stuart probably
congestion
sees
might
a
be,
lot
right?
now.
Congestion. is what they're putting.
Okay. And is there a report from fire ambulance?
I don't have anything from those.
Okay. So I make a motion
I
to.
don't think you,
I don't think-
you're
Oh,
not,
no,
you're not
it's
taking
not-
any action or
No,
no,
anything.
that's-
Oh,
say
okay.
it's
just
just
kind
kind
Just,
of, it's just,
that's just a deal.
It's
Yeah.
just report. Yeah,
Okay.
it's reporting, yes.
here's what we got going.
Okay.
And
I'm still learning, I'm
with it.
sorry.
In November, I will have, the meeting dates for the year of 2022 is the second Wednesday, yeah, because they have to be sent to the state by December something, and so I always do it in November, so that way I know it's done there. Or is the second Wednesday of the month still good for everyone?
It is for me.
I say,
don't have
I
any
know
ball
there's
games
not
on
that much,
Wednesday.
I know, I say there's not a lot of school activities on that
What
day.
about you?
Well, I was gonna see, I didn't know, I mean, is it possible to do like have a laptop set up here? Because then I wouldn't,
Or
I
you can
mean,
Skype in or something.
yeah, I mean, is that an option?
We have a brand new laptop that I bought for someone else to use. and
Well, that, if we do that, I mean, I can be here if we got something big that's going on, but then, that saves, I
Yeah.
haven't been
But it's
charged to
such
come
a
over, but I will
pretty
probably, I do like to drive over.
But it's starting to get darker earlier, and
So that would
and I'll
be,
just tell deer cows.
and I just got married, so. she-
I know.
At this point,
Bring her
still,
with
so. So if that's an option, I mean, that would be,
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'll
that-
double check that laptop and
Yeah.
make sure that
That'd
it's
be
happening.
great.
And if
And
I
I
need to
can
bring a
get with you,
laptop
we
or an
can-
iPad, that's an easy fix.
Yeah,
We can set
but I
that
just
up.
know like this one in here doesn't have a camera. It's-
I have both that have that, so if I need to bring it with me.
Okay, and like I said, I'll check that laptop and see.
but that day, yeah,
Because it's a
that works. I mean,
bought it like a couple
second
months ago. so
Wednesday
hopefully
works,
it-
so.
Okay. Yeah, it works for me.
And like I said, anytime we have something major, of course we drive over, but for, like tonight, we've got a fairly light agenda, so that would.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So, okay, so I will put go for the second Wednesday of the month, and I'll have that ready for next month.
Yeah, that works.
Okay.
Okay, new business?
I don't have
Yeah,
anything.
nothing. Okay. I make a motion to adjourn at 6:49 or 48, whatever. I can't read hand clocks no more.
6:50.
Oh, 6:50. That clock's slow.
Yes.
I forgot. Oh, I did not. It's in my pocket.
Can I get a second?
Yes, I second the motion.
Emily, your vote?
Yes.
Michelle?
Yes.
Did this look all right with you?
Yeah, oh yeah, I think so. On an as-needed basis, I think that's great, so hopefully never needed, but.
I know, that's the
Saying.
thing, you
Yes.
just never know.
But I was at the